Hello everyone, I'm happy to present you a new video in the new year 2021. I wish you all a prosperous new year 2021. And today we are going to see video from the subject accounting for management, and the topic we are going to see is golden rules of accounting. This is the sixth video in the subject. Already I have uploaded 5 video. Also I have given the link in the description. Kindly watch that video first and then watch this video. And as always, I am really thankful for the support you have given to our channel and my videos in 2020. I hope you will continue the same in the upcoming year also. Right, without further delay, let us get into the video. Golden rule of accounting. Before seeing the golden rule of accounting, I just want to update you all with two important terms. The first term I want to update is double entry system. What is double entry system? Do we have a single entry system? Yes, we have a single entry system. The traditional accounting system we followed is a single entry system. Why it is a single entry system? Because it only taken into consideration the single movement in every transaction. Single movement means it taken into consideration only the movement of money, whether money is going out of the business or coming in inside the business. That is what only taken into consideration in the single entry system. But actually, no, if something is going out of business, I mean if money is going out of business, something else is coming inside worth of that money, right? And if money is coming inside business, something else worth of that is going out of the business. So that's why it is felt, no, we need a double entry system. Double entry system of bookkeeping is a scientific and a complete system of recording the financial transaction of an organization. When you want to enter the financial transaction of an organization, you have to take all the two phases of the transaction. That is, what is being received and what is being given. According to this system, every transaction has a twofold effect. As I told you, if you take any transaction, if you're giving someone and not getting in return means that is a charity, that is not a transaction. If we giving someone and we should get something in return, we should get some thing, or we should get some service, or we should lose something. That is what I know it business is all about. That is, there are two aspects involved, namely receiving aspect and giving aspect. Double entry system is denoted where debit is denoted by the word capital D small r dot, and credit is denoted with a symbol capital C small r dot. That is debit and credit. And the basic principles of double entry system is that every debit there must be an equivalent and corresponding credit. If you have a debit in a transaction, definitely there will be equal credit in the transaction. So in general, increase in asset or expenses are said to be debit, and decrease in liabilities or income or capital is said to be debit. On the other hand, increase in liabilities, income or capital is said to be credit, and decrease in assets or in expenses is said to be credit. Okay, let me explain this double entry system more clear with the principles of double entry system. What is the first principle? We have four principles. First is, in every business transaction there are two aspects. Okay, so there is no, if you say a transaction which has only aspect, then it is not a business transaction, that has a some other nature. If you say something is a business transaction, then there are two aspects. Okay, and one is a receiving aspect and the other one is the giving aspect. Next, principle number two. The two aspects involved are the benefit of value receiving aspect and benefit or value giving aspect. Suppose if we take in this example, okay, so here no, for example, if you're buying a car for our business, now getting the car is the value of receiving. I am receiving a car worth rupees 5 lakh. So in turn, I am paying money rupees 5 lakh. So you have a value receiving aspect and value giving aspect. Third principle, the two aspects involve minimum two accounts, at least one debit and at least one credit. So when we say that every transaction has two aspect means, so minimum every transaction will have two account, at least one debit account and at least one credit account. Okay, you may have one debit account and one or more credit account, or we may have one credit account or one or more debit account or one or more debit and credit account, but at least we'll be having one debit account and one credit account. Fourth principle. So what does this principle state? For every debit, there is a corresponding and equivalent credit. If one account is debited, the other account must be credited. Let us assume that we are buying a car for rupees 5 lakh, right? So now, for example, if you're buying a car for rupees 5 lakh and paying the cash immediately, okay, the purchase of car, will be a debit account and the payment will be a credit account, 5 lakh and 5 lakh. Or let us assume that, the car is of 5 lakh, whereas we are paying only 1 lakh and we are promising to pay rupees 4 lakh as credit. So on the whole, this two will be, these cash and the credit will be a credit account and the car will be a, that 5 lakh will be a debit account. So for a 5 lakh worth a debit account, we have equivalent 5 lakh worth credit account. So that is what all about the system of double entry system. Next to double entry system, we should have a clear idea about account. An account is the basic unit of identification in accounting. In accounting, we identify things with the word account. An account is the systematic presentation of all material information regarding a particular person or item at one place under one head. For example, if I want to know about what is the sales, what is my sales detail, I might have sold it to different people at different dates, but under the head of sales account, I can get all the detail related to my sales, and I just want to know how cash is being moved inside my business, moved around my business, how it is coming in, how it is going out, what are the ways and means. So under the head of cash account, I get all the information. So we should also have idea about the various types of account, that is classification of accounts. So accounts are generally classified. First, it is classified as personal account. Personal account is further classified as natural personal account. So natural personal account, naturally, if natural person, a human being, a man or woman, some name is being given, then it is said to be a natural personal account. Then artificial personal account. Already we have seen in accounting concept that business is a separate person before the eye of the law. So any name which represent a business unit, then it is said to be artificial personal account. And the third category is representative personal account. These account represent the accounts of natural or artificial person. When the expenses became outstanding or prepaid and income becomes accrued or unearned, they fall under this category. If there are number of accounts of similar nature, it is better to group them like salary payable account, rent payable account, insurance prepaid account, interest receivable account. capital account, drawing account. So all these are representative personal accounts. So already I have told that if the owner is giving money, then give money to the business, then it is a capital. If the owner is taking money from the business, then it is a drawing. So that is a representative personal account. Capital and drawing is also a personal account. Okay. First category is personal account. Then the next category is impersonal account. So impersonal account is further classified as real account. The first classification is real account. Real account means it is an object. In that, first thing is tangible, yeah, things, any things, okay, which any asset which you can touch and feel, all that are tangible real account. So tangible real account. What is the next category is obviously intangible real account. Intangible, we may not able to touch and feel, but still it is an asset to a business, like patent, rights, trademark, all that are intangible real account. Okay. And the last classification of account is an impersonal account, which is nominal. Nominal means anything related to expenses and losses, income and gains. It's said to be nominal account. So this is how the accounts are classified, right? So in general, we say account as personal account, okay, personal account, real account and nominal account. So based on this only the golden rules of accounting is being given. So now we are going to see the golden rules of accounting. It is also known as accounting rule. Let us see one by one. So as we have classified the account, so the first category of account is personal account. Either it may be a natural or artificial or representative personal account. The rule is, okay, for example, in business we have giving and receiving, giver and receiver, right? So in the personal means somebody, representing somebody, the giver and the receiver. So the debit the receiver, credit the giver. So in any transaction, if a person name is given, Raju is paying amount, okay, then he is a giver. Okay, Raju is paying amount, then he is a giver. Giver will be credited. And Sunil is receiving a amount, receiver will be debited. So the rule is debit the receiver and credit the giver. Okay, that is for personal account. And as I told you, the next type of account is real account. So real account means it is the physical movement, really the movement. Okay, what is being moved? It is what said to be a real account. Okay, so something will be coming in and something will be going out. So what is the rule? Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So if you are buying something, goods are coming in, that will be debited, and cash will be going out because for payment. So debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So for the second type of account, that is a real account, the rule is based on the movement. Okay, what is coming in and what is going out. So debit what comes in and credit what goes out. The third category is nominal account. As I told you, it is all about income and gains and expenses and losses. So what is the rule? Debit all expenses and losses and credit all income and gain. Okay, so all the expenses and losses are debited. For example, paying salary, paying rent, all those are expenses that will be debited. Receiving commission, okay, so something which we receive, so that will be credited. Okay, this is about the rule. Let me sum up the accounting rules. If it is a personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. Okay, in a transaction, if a person name is given, either natural person or artificial person or a representative person name is being given, if he is a receiver, his name will be treated as a debit account. If he is a giver, his name will be treated as the credit account. So that is what debit the receiver and credit the giver. Real account. Real account is based on the movement. What is being moved out and in the business. So what you have to do, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. That is what the rule for real account. And for nominal account, it is all related to expenses and losses and income and gain. So debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gain. So that's all about the golden rules of accounting. I hope this video would have been useful to understand the double entry system, type of account, and the rules related to the various types of account. The next video I am planning to bring on the topic journal. We are going to see problem from the next video. Yes, and if you find this video useful, don't forget to like and comment in this video. Also share this video with your friends who may find it useful. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you.